There are many in America who are neither anti-Semitic nor anti-Zionist, but who are nonetheless morally confused about the causes of the war and the conflict. The dominant narrative in American media often portrays Israel as the greatest obstacle to peace. If only Israel had the right government, or if only Israel made the right concessions, the argument goes, peace would become possible. A two-state solution would become a reality. There's just one problem with that one-sided narrative. It's not true. The narrative is a lie of omission. It omits the most tragic truth of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, that there's a genuinely genocidal, anti-Zionist, and yes, anti-Semitic ideology that demands nothing less than the extermination of Israel as a Jewish state and the eradication of Jews from the ancestral homeland. And that ideology incited October 7th. That ideology animates terrorist regimes like the Islamic Republic of Iran. And that ideology inspires terrorist organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, whose motto is death to Israel and death to America. There is no subtlety there. If you're an academic or an activist, a politician or a journalist, who is downplaying or even denying the genocidal ideology at the core of October 7th, then you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. An international community that subsidizes and an international media that sanitizes a genocidal ideology is not promoting Israeli-Palestinian peace, it is perpetuating the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The cruel irony of the so-called Free Palestine movement is that it does not free the Palestinians. It oppresses them. It is Orwellian oppression masquerading as liberation. Consider the contrast between how deeply Israelis value Israeli life and how deeply Hamas devalues Palestinian life. Throughout the world, the hearts of Israelis and Jews across the diaspora are breaking for the plights of the hostages who are suffering through modern-day slavery for more than 500 days. Every year at Passover, Jews recount the story of Exodus, the journey from bondage to freedom. The words, "Let my people go," have taken on new urgency at a time when Jews and Israelis are yearning for the day when the hostages will be set free. There is nothing that Jews and Israelis want more intensely than to see the hostages liberated, to see them emerge from the darkness of captivity into the light of freedom. That is what it means to value life. By contrast, Hamas sees Palestinians not as ends unto themselves, but as a means to an end, a means to the destruction of Israel. Instead of investing in homes, hospitals, and schools, Hamas built a sprawling network of terror tunnels so vast it rivals half of the New York City subway system. All that money and ingenuity that could have lifted up the Palestinian people were squandered on tearing down their Jewish neighbors. Jew hatred is an acid that corrodes the humanity of everyone and everything it touches. Recall the raw footage from October 7th. A Hamas terrorist bragging over the phone to his parents that he had murdered 10 Jews. To be a martyr, to die a shaheed, to murder a Jew is seen as not as something tragic, but as something heroic. I come here with a simple message. The glorification of Jew hatred has no place, should find no refuge in the new Middle East waiting to be born. The ideology of Jew hatred in the Middle East did not begin on October 7th. It did not begin in 1967. It did not even begin in 1948. The hatred for Jews in the land of Israel is older than the Jewish state itself, dating back to the Nebi Musa riots of 1920, the Hebron massacre of 1929, and the Great Arab Revolt of 1936, which has been described as the pre-Intifada, one of the precursors to terror events like the Second Intifada, a wave of suicide bombings and stabbings and shootings that murdered over 1,000 Israelis and derailed the peace process. October 7th did not happen in a vacuum. It was the continuation of a century-long cycle of violence and terror against Jews in Israel. That critical context is rarely explained to the American people by the American media. Golda Meir was right. If the other side laid down its arms, there would be peace. But if Israel laid down its arms, there would be no Israel. And that tragic truth is rarely explained to the American people by the American media. There is an alternative to this history of hate that began with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem and continues with the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran. There is an alternative vision of shared peace and prosperity, of common humanity and dignity. And that vision is the Abraham Accords. The Islamic Republic's empire of terror is crumbling in real time. Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, all shadows of their former selves. The Assad regime in Syria has collapsed, and Iran's defenses have been degraded. The future of the Middle East does not belong to the Islamic Republic and its empire of terror. The future of the Middle East belongs to Israel and the Abraham Accords. The future of the Middle East does not belong to hate. The future belongs to hope, Haktikva. In the grand sweep of history, in the millennia-long Maccabean marathon that is the story of the Jewish people, we are as close as we have ever been to realizing the Abrahamic dream of a world where all the children of Abraham, Jews, Christians, and Muslims, can coexist in peace and prosperity. A durable peace is possible. And we as Americans, in the greatest country on earth, have the power, indeed the responsibility, to make it so. and make peace we will. God bless the United States of America. Am Israel Hi. Thank you.